everyone, it is Andrea, and today I am coming at you with a plan with me using is this called Magical Cruise? I don't know, it'll be in the title. This is for the week of November 28th through December 24th, and you guessed it, we went on a Disney cruise this week. This is the first cruise I've ever been on in my entire life, and it was pretty awesome, not going to lie, but there was some dramas towards the end of the week, so y'all, buckle up. Initially, I had planned on using just gold foil with this, but then I was thinking, the little wheels in my brain were turning, and I was like, you know what? I feel like this would look really, really good with champagne lights mixed in, and I was going to use the shimmer bundle because that's like already mixed, but I was like, you know what? Let's pull out the champagne lights Caress Press Christmas bundle, the one right there, and then I just kind of like picked and choose. I feel like I had so much foil with this kit and I ended up not using a lot of it, but sometimes I just like having a lot of things like on deck so that I have choices to like kind of be able to pick and choose what I want to use when the actual spread happens. But I ended up doing a manual mixed metal moment with the Mickey heads. We don't have the Mickey head 15mm washi as champagne light, so I just took a sheet, well actually 2 sheets of the bottom washi page from Park Hopper and cut the Mickey heads out, which is a little bit wasteful in my opinion, but also I really wanted this spread to be special, so I think that it was worth it. And I also ended up doing a like double bougie box moment where I used the Champagne Lights bougie boxes with the regular gold Plana Hannah like ship wheels over top of it, and I think that that also kind of leaned into the mixed metal moment. And then a lot of the foil that I wanted to use was gold, so I tried to pull in a lot of champagne lights where I could, but I think it turned out so stinking cute. And adding in the like little bits and pieces of Christmas type foil, I think, didn't make it like too Christmassy for the kit, but it added just enough that it kind of marked that it was a Christmas time cruise, and I think that that is so fun. The cruise itself was beautiful. I loved everything about it. We went on the Wish, which is the newest boat on the Disney Cruise Line lineup, and it was so fun. We had been planning on doing one since like I was pregnant with Theo, so it's been a minute, and yeah, I'm glad that we finally went, though I did, if you didn't know, I got the COVIDs, and I'm pretty sure I got it on the cruise. So yeah, there was that. But overall, I think that the cruise was super fun, and I think that this spread turned out super, super cute. Like way cuter than I could even imagine. I love these colors together, especially with the gold. And if you want to pick up this kit, it's still in shop. It's just so stinking gorgeous. It is exclusive art, so you won't find it anywhere else. So let's go ahead and just start talking about the day by day, because y'all, it was jam-packed. So on the sidebar, I just put in that we were cruising this week and how many weeks until Christmas, which it's crazy as I'm filming this. Christmas is in like 2 or 3 days, which is just wild to me. Also, I did make an oops here as far as like what day needed an extender, so I moved around all of the boxes because that's just me. On Monday, we left the hotel, so if you watched last week's plan with me, you know that we flew in a day early just because I didn't want there to be any delays. I feel like the like airport air flying thing has just been so wild recently. I had booked a flight to see Marg. She lives in Canada, and I just got an email yesterday that my flight was changed for the second time and that they were having me do a 9-hour layover in Denver. And I was like, excuse me, absolutely not. And they had just announced like a direct flight before, and now they don't do it, which is just totally wild and unfortunate. But I was like, yeah, I'm not sitting in Denver for 9 hours whenever it's already like 5 hours of flying plus. So I was like, gonna have to change that trip to a different time. But yeah, so we got in the day before, we slept. It was an actual trash shoot of a night. And then we were told, okay, be at the front lobby area at, I think it was like 9:15. And we were like, okay, like, we got it there at like 15 minutes earlier than whatever time they said. And it was an actual crapshoot. I'm saying it versus SHIT show, because that's what it was at this hotel. I have never seen something more disorganized in my entire life. So you paid for the shuttle, you like scheduled it. So we did that the night before. They gave you a paper, and then they were like, yeah, just go, show up, and then you get on the bus and they take you. It took over 2 hours to get us on a bus. We were like hanging out. We made friends with like every person there, and there was so many people waiting for shuttles. And we were at some point, like towards the end, like we had called an Uber, and then they finally said like, oh, we're ready to take you. And I'm like, it's literally been over 2 hours. And 2 hours, if it was just me and Nick, heck yeah, I just sit on my phone. But 2 hours with 3 kids waiting outside? No, it was actually horrible. So we ended up finally getting on the shuttle, and also just like the staff was just so rude. Like I went up and I was like, hi, I'm here for the shuttle. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, well, do you need my name? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, like, okay. Like the whole thing was just, there was no organization. It was actually the most wild thing I've ever seen. But anyways, we get to the ship and we get on board. We got on board pretty quickly, which was nice, so that the kids could like roam free, because they were just cooped up, annoyed, hungry, the whole nine. And then we got some food, and then they were having like a dance party on deck. So we got ice cream and just danced, and I have videos of the kids dancing, and it's super cute. And then for dinner, we were at 1923. I think we were on the Roy side. I think we went to Walt for something, but I don't remember. But we went to the Roy side, and I feel like the food on the cruise is like comparable to like food at Disney, like at a more like basic, not high-end restaurant. So it's like fine, but we also had food like in the like concierge lounge, and that was like way better. But I feel like the food on the cruise was not like spectacular. It just reminded me very much so of like park food. But we didn't get to go to any of the like adult only restaurants, so I don't know if they were better there. But that was probably the only thing that I was like, the food's just like okay. So we ate dinner there, and then Theo ended up going to the nursery, which the nursery and the kids club are like the coolest thing ever. And they are like so secure and like professional. Obviously it's Disney. But the coolest thing, and the thing that I was looking forward to the most, is all of the Joey Choo like art, and that whole entire floor basically is just like a giant mural of Joey Choo, and then so is like the actual like nursery is all like art, and it's so pretty. Every time we went down there, I was just like in awe of how gorgeous it was, and I took like a video, and I will remember that forever, because it was just so good. And so yeah, he went to the nursery this night, and he actually had a lot of fun, and he didn't love being dropped off, but the staff was super nice. They were like the same ones usually every day, so they knew him, and it was so fun for him. And I think that was probably one of the bigger perks of the cruise, was having the option of the nursery. And then also the kids club was so cool, and Bennett wanted to be there like all the time, so much that we had to be like, no, Bennett, like you have to spend a little bit of time with us. But he just wanted to go to the kids club and draw and hang out with other kids, and they had like so many different special activities, and they had character meets in there, and it was just like he was living his best life. So then on Tuesday, we got room service for breakfast. We had like Mickey waffles and fruit and all kinds of stuff. And there's nothing better than a Mickey waffle. And then we went to arts and crafts. So they had arts and crafts where you made like ornaments with the kids, and they really loved that. And then Lila needed a nap, so I took the boys to the splash pad in the pools. And Bennett went on the one water slide. It's the dinosaur, is it Trixie themed? I think, ? It's definitely Toy Story, like the whole splash pad was Toy Story themed. I'm pretty sure that it was like rave themed with like the dinosaurs, and it was really, really cute. So we did that, and then we met up with Nick for lunch and ate some food, and the boys had this option. It was like a chicken pot pie, but it was like, instead of being in a pie, it was like in a mound of mashed potatoes, and it was so good. Like I would have ordered it for myself had I known. Then the kids all went and did their own thing at the nursery and the kids club, and me and Nick did Hyperspace Lounge, which another thing that was like kind of disappointing. Like It's only recently that you don't need a reservation for it. And if I had gotten a reservation for it, like went out of my way, I would have been like highly disappointed because I thought it was like really basic and boring. Nick thought it was cool to like see, but like they only have a couple of things on the drink menu and I don't drink, and like the non-alcoholic ones didn't like appeal. And then it was just like a small room and it just was like, I don't know, I was just like, this is it. This is what everyone hypes up about. I don't get it. And then we did like the adult arts and crafts session, which was like making an ornament, but was a little bit more difficult, which was really fun because normally Nick isn't like about like arts and crafts, but he actually tried and that was really, really cute. So we did that. And then I booked it's like an Olaf's picnic with Bennett. Theo is too little, which is sad. I feel like he would have been fine, but also like it's nice to be able to do like things alone with each kid. So we did Olaf's picnic and Bennett was obsessed. There was so much food, but it was so fun. It was like a little show, and then they had like gifts for the kids, and then at the end you took a picture with all of the characters, and then they like sent it up to your room, and I thought that was really worth it and fun. Then for dinner we did the like Marvel dinner, which was cute. I like don't really like Marvel stuff, so I was just kind of like, I don't get any of it, but we were gonna just do this with just Bennett, but he wanted to go to the kids club, so it was just me and Nick for dinner, and then we walked around with the kids and got ice cream after dinner. And then this night was a little rough and tough. Lila ended up throwing up this night just randomly. She randomly throws up like once every 3 months. I don't know what it's about. And it's like spit up. And yeah, so it was just like a long night of like we had to get like clean sheets, and like her sleep sack was messy, so we had to get that laundered, and then she didn't have her sleep sack, and I feel like that girl needs her sleep sack. Is a whole thing. High maintenance. Then on Wednesday, we were docked at the Bahamas, and we didn't actually get off ship this day because it was a little bit like, it would have been a little difficult because it's not like you have a set thing to do, and especially with Lila needing a nap, it's kind of hard to do stuff like that. So we decided to stay on, but like kind of take advantage of the shipping a little bit like more dead. So I went to breakfast with Theo at the Roy side of 1923 and just did a breakfast with him. And then we went and got pictures with Minnie and Spider-Man. Theo is definitely getting better with characters. Like, he really wants to take pictures with them. Like, he's really hyped up. And then once it gets time to, like, his turn in line, he gets, like, a little nervous. But he did really, really well, especially with Minnie. Like, he gave her a hug, and it was so, so cute. And then afterwards, I switched with Theo with Bennett. And Bennett, we went to the Incredicourse, which was a Incredibles themed obstacle course, which also was kind of like had its moment. We were standing in line and there was these kids in front of us. They probably ranged from the ages of like 5 to like 13, 14. They were all in a family and they were all like roughhousing, and the one kid, like older kid, was holding one of the younger kids, like roughhousing, and he ended up kicking Bennett in the throat, and I almost lost it, but I was like, they're just kids. They're just kids. And then like the older kid came over and apologized, and the parents came down and like checked up, but I was just like, why? Because Bennett's like crying, it's a whole thing. But then they ended up being friends and racing each other, so it was all fine, but I was just like, why? Then what do we do after that? I lost my spot on the page. Then I took Bennett to lunch at, again, the Roy side of 1923, and we had lunch and an ice cream, like, sundae, which he is obsessed with ice cream. And while we were doing that, the other half of the party went to, like, it was like a Christmas dance party kind of thing. It was supposed to be, like, reading stories with Mrs. Claus, but then they ended up having like the whole like Fab Five there, which was just like way cool, and I'm sad that I missed it. But then Bennett and me and Nick went to the Hyperspace Lounge because Bennett wanted to see it, and then Bennett wanted to go back to the kids club, and Nick and I just got a quick lunch before we picked up the other two. Then we just had popcorn by the pool, and my kids love popcorn. Like, they think it's like a treat, and they are just like all about it. So we ate popcorn and watched a movie by the pool, and then Lila went to the nursery, I think, for like dinner time, because she's just not about like sitting at a dinner, and she actually took a nap, which we thought was the cutest thing in the whole entire world because she just like is very particular about naps. So we weren't sure how that would go. And we didn't even plan for her to take a nap. But whenever they told us, we were like, oh my God. Then I was just kind of like stressed this night. And then Thursday, we got up early because we were going to be at Castaway Cay, which is probably my favorite part of the entire trip. It was just so fun because we went to the beach with Bennett and Theo, but Theo hated the beach. So basically it was just going with Bennett, and Bennett, that was like last year. So we didn't go to the beach this year. So we were very excited for Bennett to be able to go to the beach because he's like next level about the beach. Like he loves the ocean. So anyways, we woke up early because we wanted to get in line for pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus, which I'm totally bummed because I forgot to buy them before we got off the boat. And then by the time that I remembered, like they don't let you buy them afterwards, which I think is kind of like silly. And whenever I looked it up online, it was like, oh, because of like how many pictures we take, like after the like cruise, we just like dump them, like delete them. And I was just like, how many pictures you take? But like the ones that you have from like Disney World, you could get for like months on your account. So I was just like, that just seems confusing. But like, and Nick didn't take any on the phone, so we don't have any pictures of that. But it was still a fun experience, even though we don't have pictures. Then we got off the boat and went to Castaway Cay, and we went shopping because I knew I wanted to get a couple of things, which I did or will be doing. I think it'll already be by the time that you see this. Did a haul of all of the things that I got on this trip. It was mostly Spirit jerseys because I have no chill, and a couple of pins, but I did some shopping. And then we also did get a cabana for this day. We were actually on a wait list for one, and I didn't think we'd get one, but then we got an email like a week beforehand that we were able to snag one, and I was very excited about that because especially with having like a baby, it's nice to have like a dedicated area because I knew she would need a nap with how long we would be there. Which kind of leads me into the next part is, I put in that we went to the beach, which the boys loved. Ian, Theo loved, Lila loved, we all loved. But Nick was like, I cannot get her to take a nap because we requested a pack and play, which is a really cool thing that they offer. But she would not nap in the pack and play. So I was like, well, let me go and see if I could sit with her. And we ended up sitting on the, the hammock. And I was just sitting with her, and we were rocking on the hammock, and she fell asleep on me, which Lila, I don't think since she's been an itty bitty little baby has not fallen asleep on me. So that was just a really cute moment. And I just kind of snuggled her and covered her up and just rocked on the hammock and just held her while she slept. And it was just so special, and something that I definitely will remember for forever. Is just such a cute little moment. And then we got food, and they had this barbecue place which had a lot of options, and they're actually pretty good. And then for dinner we did the Arendelle, the frozen dinner. Theo was totally scared. They have Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff, and then they also have, I don't remember what his name is, but it's the guy that mans that store, and Theo was terrified of him because he kept doing the hoo-hoo, and Theo would be like, where's that coming from? But it was cute. Me and Theo ended up leaving a little bit early because he was just not vibing with the character situation, but Nick and Theo stayed later, but it was all good. Theo got to see Elsa and say hi to Elsa, which is what he was mostly wanting anyways. Then on Friday, we were disembarking, I guess, and we were leaving to go to Magic Kingdom, where it starts to go awry. So we ended up getting to the hotel, and it's funny because this is a tip that I got that I'm going to pass on to you. So we get there, and it's obviously way before check-in. So we just have them hold our bags, and we check-in's at 4. So we were like, all right, well, we'll just go to the park. And then whenever our room's ready, we'll just come back, and then Lila can get a nap. So time goes. We don't get any information about our room being ready. And we're like, it's so weird because we got there at 8. You think it would be ready by now. But also we were 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock passes, no information. 4:30 passes, no information. We did actually have a dinner reservation, an early one. So we just went to the dinner reservation. Lila was a little cranky, but it was fine. So we get to the hotel and I was like, hey, like, I don't know if there's something wrong, but like, we never got information about our room. And she's like, oh, here's the tip. Don't tell them you're going to the parks, because if you tell them that you're going to the parks, they put you on the last of the list. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, always lie. Especially if you have like a reason you are like, I will come back when my room's ready. She's like, just lie and say that you're going to stay here and wait for the room. So I was like, oh, good to know, because Lila could have used a nap. But it all worked out anyways, and we got more time at the park, which worked out because we left the next day. We had planned to stay for 2 more park days, I believe, and we had plans to go to the Christmas party, but we ended up leaving early, but we'll get to that. So on Friday, we went to Magic Kingdom, we did Haunted Mansion, we got funnel cake, the boys, because Lila did take a nap in the stroller, thankfully, they went on Pirates, and they went on the Magic Carpet ride, and then we all went on Peter Pan and Pooh, and then we had lunch at our favorite, we're just so basic, place, which is Pesco Bills. Somebody told me, but I totally forgot already. And then we went on the Dumbo ride. We waited for Chip and Dale, but they, like, didn't come out. They just said that they were busy on a adventure, so they didn't come out. So we played in the water area instead for a little while. That's by Dumbo. Does that have like a specific name? Let me know in the comments down below. Then we went on the aerial ride and then the Tomorrowland Speedway. So I feel like we got a lot done. And then we got dinner at Ohana, which was good. And then we finally got into our room. I took a bubble bath with the kids. And then, you know, we had a good night. We got food from the Contemporary and as like a snack. And then I went and got like a bunch of like supplies that we needed, like snacks and milk and this, that, and another thing. Then I don't remember if it was after everyone was asleep. I feel like it was. It was like everyone was asleep, but then Lila woke up and I was like, Nick, I don't know. Like, I feel kind of sick. Like, in, like, a pukey way. TMI, maybe, but, you know, you're here. So, I was like, I think I need to go throw up. And I'm the kind of person that, like, Nick is the kind of person, I feel like there's just 2 different types of people. There's the kind of person who Nick will do anything to not throw up. Like, he knows he's going to have to throw up, but he would rather just, like, hold on to that feeling and hope that he doesn't eventually have to throw up. I'm the kind of person that if I know that I have to throw up, I just want to get it over with. So, indeed, it happened, and I have not thrown up that much. And it was weird because I didn't feel anything else besides, like, I needed to throw up. I have not felt or thrown up like that in years. Like, even pregnancy, no. This was, like, a different kind of throw up. It was, like, intense, horrible, disgusting. And I also had my period, so it was just, like, I was just not having a good time. And I was like, Nick, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, something's wrong. You know, like, I don't know, like, because we all ate the same stuff. So I was like, I don't really know, like, what's going on. So Nick was like, you know, I think we should just go home early. Like, if you're starting to get sick, like, and he saw how bad it was, he's like, I think we should just go home versus staying. So it ended up working out. We only lost out money-wise on the Christmas party, but honestly, like, it just wasn't a good time, which it actually worked out because I ended up testing positive for COVID, not the next day, but the next day. So I'm not sure if that was like pre-COVID symptoms or what, but yeah, it was horrible. So we ended up changing our flight, which I feel like that's the only pro about like airport flight things recently, is it's like very easy to change your flight now. And the flight we got was for the next day in the like afternoon, and we'd get home in the evening. So in the morning, I packed everything up. Obviously, we're disappointed, but also we go to Disney like enough. This is our last Disney trip for a long time though, like a long time, especially with like school and things like that. It's just so hard, and work too. It's just like a lot. So we're not gonna be going for a while, but we just went in October, so I wasn't really like too bummed about missing out on anything. And we did get like one good Magic Kingdom day in, and the cruise was just so fun that we just felt like fulfilled. And I was like, yeah, I'm just not feeling great. So the flight home was okay. Me and Nick ended up switching, so normally I sit with Theo, but Theo was being like an angel on this flight, and Lila was the one who was just not having it. So I ended up getting her to sleep on me again. I'm just like enjoying all the cuddles, y'all. I'm really, really enjoying the cuddles. And she finally fell asleep, and then after that, it was pretty smooth sailing besides the person. Well, it was like a child behind me kicking the seat, which I was just like, he was Bennett's age, and I was like, Bennett doesn't kick the back of seats. I was just like, it was only 2 hours. I lived, but still. Then we got home, the boys took a shower, and then we got McDonald's and went to bed. On Sunday, I did test positive. Oh my God, my finger is bleeding. I did test positive for COVID this day, which is just great. This is my first time. This is my first rodeo. I am negative now. Obviously, it's been a long time since this actually happened, but I tested positive for COVID. I had like a cough this day, but otherwise I didn't have any symptoms, and I never got any other symptoms besides losing my smell for a couple days. No sore throat or anything, or fever or anything like that, but we'll get into the like COVID story time next week. So basically I was like, all right, I'm quarantining because as of right now, like I tested everybody else, nobody else was positive. So I think that I was patient 0 in the house, and I got it on the cruise and then developed over like the 2 days, 3 days, and then tested positive on Sunday. I did wear my mask on like the plane and stuff, so I don't think that it was on the airplane or in the airport. And this is our 4th Disney trip since COVID, so I feel like the cruise is like the outlying factor, but obviously could have gotten at Disney, but I'm pretty sure it was on the cruise. So anyways, so I was basically quarantining now, and I just worked in my office, and then I actually went to work this day. No one was going to be at work, and I needed to print orders for Kirsten to fill on Monday. I wore a mask and sanitized everything. Don't you worry. Then I took a bath, and we got Olive Garden for dinner, and Nick like put it in the room and like left. And then I watched Gossip Girl, and I slept alone this night, which I rarely ever sleep alone. So it was such a weird thing to have like the bedroom to myself. So I put that in because like, how weird, right? So that is everything for this week. I guess I'll just kind of, since I have a little bit of time, I'll fill you in with my COVID journey. But basically, I had like one day of like really intense coughs. And then I just kind of like had some coughing like here and there for the rest of my time. I tested negative after 12 days. And the only other people to test positive in the house, which I tested everyone pretty often, is Lila and Nick. And Lila didn't have any symptoms, I don't think, really. She was like a little cranky, but I think it's because she was cutting a tooth. And Nick ended up being kind of like unwell and not like a slight fever and just kind of feeling like poop for like maybe 24 to 36 hours. So I feel like we definitely got a lot lucky on that front. But yeah, and then the boys never tested positive, which was kind of bizarre, but also I'm grateful either way. I don't know how it all works, but we're all vaccinated, and we're boosted. The boys aren't due for like a booster yet, and Lila had 2 out of 3 of her vaccinations. She was actually due to get her next one as soon as we came home, like on timeline wise, but we had to move it because obviously she tested positive, so she can't get her 3rd shot yet, but she will in January. So that is everything for this spread. I hope y'all liked it. I think that this spread turned out beautiful. I love the colors. I love the foil combination with this. I just loved this trip. It was just so fun, something different. I love the beach. My kids love the beach, and it was magical because it was Disney. And yeah, so I hope you like the spread again, and I will talk to y'all in my next one. Bye!